Good everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we want to draw the figure that is displayed at the top right corner of our screen in third angle projection. Now when you hear the word third angle, the first thing you have to do is to draw your y and x axis like this. Draw the y, right? And you move it to draw the x this way. You can see that? And they're meeting at this point. So the next thing you do is you measure 10 millimeter or 5 millimeter on your meter rule. Then you place it at where they meet, and you mark up, you mark down, you mark left, and also you mark right. So with the help of your first square and t-square, you draw this to pass through that point, and you come to that point to also do the same thing to pass through that point, right? And you take your first square and you place it here to pass through this point. You come here also, you do the same thing. Now this is what you bring out first of all. Now what you do is all these points you see should be your reference point, and this point here should be your reference point, and here also. So what I will do, I'm going to clean this spot off, and I'll be having this. So I'll be having this, right? So we've gotten the 4 cardinal points. So I'll say this is my first quadrant, this is my second quadrant, this is my third quadrant, and my fourth quadrant. Now the trick about first angle and third angle projection is this. If you are drawing in first angle, your front elevation should be above the line, the x-axis, right? It can be in the first quadrant or in the second quadrant. But if you are drawing in third angle projection, your front elevation should be below the x-axis, either here or here. Now let me give you an illustration by interpreting that diagram at the top right corner of the screen. So look at this, let me give you a clearer view. Now if you look at this very well, we are told to look at this arrow. So this is our front elevation. Now if you look at the front elevation, everything you see is formed from a box. So the front elevation, the total length is 55 and the total height is, now we said from this point here is 8 plus 15, that will give us 23. Then 23 plus the radius here 11, that will give us 34, right? So we mean that the length is 55, the height is, so the height is what? I said 34, right? Then what about so that's what we have. So the total, where I will cover out my image from, just like I was showing isometric, is that the length and what, and the height. So the front elevation deals with what? Just the length and the height. So I'm going to pick this and I'll draw it either in the third quadrant or in the fourth quadrant to show my third angle projection. So this is what I'll do here. Now, since this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant, any of these two, if I draw the elevation I showed you, that would be my third angle projection. So I will choose here or here, any of them. So if I take my fourth quadrant, we're still saying the same thing, right? If I take my fourth quadrant, we're still saying the same thing. So if I should place it here with my meter rule on the third quadrant here, because I want to draw in third angle projection, I will draw it here, right? So I said the total length is what? Is 55. So this is 55 from here to here. This 55, right? And I will draw it down this way with faint line. And I said the total height is what? 34. So I'm going to measure 34 from here. This is 34 here. This is 34, right? And I'm going to close it up. So like I said, this is my starting point. So I started measuring from this point here 0 to this side 55 and what? 34. So I've carved out the shape at which I want to draw out my shape. I brought out the total length and height. Now look at what we have again. Now I just finished drawing this, right? We said 55 and what? 34. Now I need to start bringing out this diagram here. So if you're looking from this side, you're going to see A, and A ranges from the height of 8 to this level, right? Then we get here. So what I'll do, first of all, I'm going to measure 8 first. So let's measure the 8. So I'm measuring 8 from here. So from 1 here, this is 8 here, right? Then I'll close it up with this faint line first. So that is the first one. So we mean that the length from this point here to this point here is given as what? As 8. So we have what? 8 here. Now, the next thing we'll do, let me show you the total height from here to this point here is 22 plus 5, and that is 27. So I'll measure from this base here up 27. So from here to here is 27. So here is this point here. So I'm going to measure 27 from that point. So I'm going to measure from this point here to this is 20, 25, 26, and this 27 here. You can see that. Now the next thing is, I will now say we have the height from here to here is 27 from this point here, straight down to this point that I measured is 27. Let me just come here and put it. That will be 27. All good. Now the next thing is, I'll just try and close it up here with my faint line first. So the next thing I'm going to do is now the thickness of this place here, because we're looking at it from this direction. So we're seeing this A here. From here to here is given as what? As 10. Even though when it's not given, if you look at here to this point, is equal to here to this point. So if here to here is 10, automatically here to here is what? Is 10. So it's 10. So this point you're seeing is from this point, right? So from here to here is equal to from here to here. So this point to here is 10. So this point is this point here, right? So from there I'll measure 10 inward. So let's measure the 10 inward. So from here I'll measure 10 inward. This is 10 here. right? So I'll just take in it this way. So from there, I will just take it down to touch the other line. So I'll take in it. If you look at the top right corner, this point to this point is taken. So I'll take in it. This point to this point here is taken. Right, this is what we have. So I just take it from here to the base here, which is 8. So I'm taking it here. Now from here to that line of 8 is also taken, so I'm taking it down. So we said from here, the line of 8 is the line of 8. So I'm going to taking it down. Right, then from here to the ending point is also taken. From here to the ending point is also taken, and the base also here is taken to this point here. Then I'll close up here. You can see that. So what I just did here is this. So I taken from here to here, down to here, and to all these points here, taking them, and that is A. Now if you look at this, no matter you look at this figure from this side, if you are looking from a far distance, it will look as if this figure is just in front here, right? So I know that from this point up to somewhere at the center here, we have 15. So this point is parallel, is at the same line with this point here. So from here upward is 15. So I'll measure from here, which is here is 15. So I'll measure the 15 upward. This is 15 here. Right? So I will join it with a straight line. Just at this point here. So a straight line here. And if you look at it, that is the 15. I can tick in the line because it's thickened to this point. So I'm going to tick in the line. All good. There's the 15 here I've thickened. Now if you look at it very well again, the radius I've taken from here now to this point, right, which is just on top of 8. But you'll be seeing here as if it's close to this front point here. So if I get L15, then the radius of the outside circle is given as what? 11. So what will I do? I'll take my compass. From this point, I'll measure radius 11. So from this point, which is this point here, I'm going to measure radius 11. So with this, 0, this is 10, and this is what? 11. Right? So I'll take my compass, and I'll place it from here to that point. That again, I'm going to draw a semicircle. I'm going to draw a semicircle from this point. This is what we have here. That is the semicircle there. Then from here, I'm going to take it down to 8. So this is what we have. If you look at the top right corner. So from here, it's going down to 8. Now, the next thing that we'll be doing is, since we brought this one out, now the next thing we need to do is to draw a circle inside. And that circle has the radius of, we just finished drawing this and that, and the circle here, which is this intercircle, it has a radius of what? 6. So I'm going to measure my 6 from this point. So from this point to the center, I'll measure radius of what? 6 to draw that circle. So from here, which is here, I'll measure radius 6 on my meter rule. From this point to this point is 6, right? And I'll place it here, the center here, and I'll draw my circle this way. That way. So this is what we have here, right? So if you look at this carefully, discover that, look at this carefully. If you're looking at it from this point here, you cannot see this cut in, right? Which is has the radius of 6 from this point. So I'm going to measure 6 from here downward, because if you're seeing curve from a straight line, you'll be seeing it as a straight line, right? So if I'm looking at the curve from this side, I'll measure 6 downward from here to here, which is from here to here. I'll measure 6. So this point here is this point here, right? So I'm going to measure 6 downward. So if I start from 2, I'll measure this is 5, and this is what? 6. So what would I show it with? I'll show it with hidden line. Hidden line is just short lines this way. 1, this, they're evenly spaced. So this hidden line is showing that what? There's a curve through which I cannot see. Right? Now similarly, there's still another one again. Let's look closely. At this point here, right? There's a line up here which is 5, which is this thickness here, and it's going through in. So that means I cannot see it from looking at it from this point here. So to show that there's a through in between this figure, I'll use the line with a height of 5, and I'll demarcate this figure here, demarcate it from here to here like this. So from here, I'll measure 5 in. This is a 5 here, and I'll use my hidden line to show that there's a true in. Thus, evenly spaced line. They call them hidden line to show hidden features. This is what we have here. You can see that. Now that is what we have. If you're looking at it from that aspect, let's take a deep view of it. So this is what you have here, right? So we've drawn the front elevation of that figure. Now through the front elevation, we're able to get all other elevations. Is that taken? So we know that this is a center line here. This is a center line because it's a circle, symmetrical object. So I'll use one long one, a short one, long one, a short one, and long one here, right? And I'm going to do it here too. At this point, I'll do one long, short, long, short, long. Is that again? So we know that from this point that we measured earlier is 15. From here we have 15. So let's do my center line this way. This is 15, right? Then we know that from here to here is given as 10, as 6, right? So from here to here, and let's draw it here. So here is given as 6. This is what we have here. So that is the 6 here. Then we know that the radius of this circle here, this one here, we have the radius of what? Radius of 11, right? And the other one here, and then from here to here, giving us the radius of what? Radius of 6 to draw that circle here. So we know the total length here, this length here is giving us 55. So the 55. All good. Now we move further and we know that the demarcation from here to here is 10. So let's see, this is the elevation we have. Now the next thing you need to understand is that in third angle, the elevation, the plan is always on top of the elevation in third angle. That's one point you need to know, right? So while in first angle, the plan is always below the elevation. So what will I do? I'm going to project these points. I'll project them up this way, this to this. All those points I have, I'll project them this way. I need to draw the plan I have here also, and here. So this is what we have here. So what you do is this. The plan is looking at it from the top. So at the top, that what we'll look at. So it's also the same box. We are going to draw another box again, right? So this is what I'm going to do here. I have the box. So since the elevation deals with the length and what and the height, then the plan is dealing with what? The length and what? And the width. So I'll measure the length and the width. I already have the length already, which is this line, from here to here, because from here to here is the length. So automatically from here to this point is the length. So I'll just thicken it. I'll thicken from this point straight to this point here. You can see that. Then what about the height of the width? What about the width? The width is like the height on the plan. So the width we have is this. So if here's the length and here's the height, automatically here's the width. So the width is 10 plus 16 plus 10. That is 36. So our width is what? 36. So we implement it here. Now measure 36, right? So let's put that and see. 36 from 0, which is this point, measure 30, 36 here. I told you earlier that this point here is our reference point. So I'm going to close it up. I can use a faint line, but since I'm really sure of where I'm actually heading to, I'm taking it. So I'll taking it also here. This point. So I'll taking it. And I'll also come here and I'll taking it too. Now we've brought that out. Now the next thing we'll do is we now start drawing. You see that there's a thickness here, which is this thickness here. So looking at the plan, what will you see? Let me show you. Now we're saying this from the plan, right? I'm going to be saying this from the plan, this cut. And I said the length is 10, which you already have a diagram. So what we should be emphasizing on is this thickness here, which is what? This distance of the cut. And that is what? Radius of what? 6. So first of all, I need to get the center of this thickness here. And where's the center? After I got in the center, I'll now measure 6. So where's the center? This is the center here. So this is the thickness here that we're talking about. So I have to get the center. So if from here to here is giving us 36, so half of it is giving us what? 18, right? So I'll measure 18. to get the half of it. So this is 36 here. This will be 10, 20. So 18 will be just here. Right? So I'll just take my meter rule, my T-square, and I'll just show a center line here at this point. So that is the center line. You're taking? So this is where I will now measure 6 up, 6 down, because with the radius of that cut here, this cut I'm talking about, I've already got in the center, which I said is 18. So I want to draw this cut. So from the center, I will mark with my compass 6 to the left and 6 to the right, this way. So take my compass, and I'm going to measure 6. This is 6 here. So I'll place it at this point. I'll mark 6 to the left and 6 to the right. And you see a curve. If you look at the curve perpendicularly, it will be a straight line. So that straight line, that curve will look like a straight line. So I'll have this way, and I'm going to have this way too. And this side is also thickened because we're talking about this thickness here. It's also thickened at this point. I'm going to thicken it. So this is for that aspect. So this is what I'm showing you here. Let me show you. So this is it here. I'm looking at it from the top. So this place is what I just finished drawing. So in this curve, perpendicular will become what? A straight line in orthographic projection. Now the next thing I will do is, here is 16, right? So I'm going to get the center of this. I already have the center, which is 18. So I'll now mark 8 to the left and 8 to the right, right? 8 to the left and what? 8 to the right. So let's do that. So I'll mark 8 to the left. First of all, let me put it on my meter rule. Measure 8. This is 8 here. So if I place it here, I'm going to mark 8 to the left and what? 8 to the right. Is that taken? So to show the true that is going in, because there's a true going in, so I'll show it using hidden line. So from this point, I'll draw my hidden line, a long one, short, and then everything should be the same. Everything should be the same. Then I'll come here also, same thing too. That is what we have here, the hidden line. So is this true? You know what I'm actually doing here? So this true here, which is 16, that I measured 8 to the left, 8 to the right. So I'm going through. So to show that there's a true in beneath it, that I'm using hidden line to show that there's a true. So after we've done that, the next thing that's remaining is this here. So look at this, is at the top of this figure. So here you're seeing is this point. Right? Now, and the other part here, this part is at the top. If that point is this point, so this part is at the other end, which is this end here. So it's starting from here, this end. So what I will do is this. I will know the thickness of that figure. Which figure? This figure. This figure here. Right? This figure. So from the ending of that line, I'll measure 16 downward. 16 downward, right? So let's do that first. So let's measure the 16 from here downward. So we'll start from, this is 16 here. This is 16 here. Here. So from 0 to this point is 16. Then I'll just draw a line, faint line this way to this point. So the good news is, which figure are we trying to draw? We're trying to draw this figure here. And this is the thickness of the figure. So I'm moving it up. So it means that this is where it is actually located. Boom. So the curve will look like a straight line where you are looking at it perpendicularly. So this will look like a straight line. So you can see that. So I brought out the shape out here. So it means that if you're looking at this figure from the top, it will look like a straight line. You see this curve like a straight line. That is why I just drew a straight line. Now there's a circle that is going through that has a radius of 6. So the good news is, in the elevation, the circle is there, so I'll just project it. So this circle is this circle here, right? So I'll just project it to the next point here. I'll project it upward, and I'll project this also upward. So I'll now use my hidden line to show that there's a circle that's going through. So I'll use a long one, this, then I'll come here also, I'll do the same thing. That is what we have there. The hidden line is showing that there's a through there, right? So the next thing we'll do is to draw the end view. So we've done the elevation, and this is the plan. So the next thing is what? The end view. So just to help us get the end view, we need to draw an angle of what? 45 degrees from this point, right? Or you just, if you did this accurately, you just joined this place and this place like this, right? To give you a 45 degree. Or better still, just project your set square and place this here this way. So we put it like this. This is our 45 degree this way. So the angle you draw is what? 45 degree. Now you now project all those points to come and touch that line. So let me start projecting. So I'll project this to come and touch the line. I'll go to the next one. I'll project this to come and touch the line. This also to come and touch the line. Every point to come and touch the line. And this also to come and touch the line. Then this to come and touch the line. You can see that. So this already is there on its own, which is this. Now the next thing I'm going to do, they are all coming to meet this at this point. So I'll project those points, just come down there. From here, it's coming down to touch this line. Then from here, it's coming down to touch this line. Then this one also coming down to touch this line. These two is coming down to touch this line. The next one is coming down to touch this line. The next one is coming down to touch this line. Right? So we've done that. So we want to draw the end view at this point. So this is what we'll do. You project all the parts here to touch this ending too, like this. So this is coming here to touch the end of this line. This also is coming here to touch this. This also is coming here to touch this. This one too is here to touch this. Then this also is already at the top already, right? It's there already. So what we'll just do here, we'll start. This is the end view here. So the end view is looking at it from this side. You know, the elevation is from here, the plan is from the top, the end view is looking at from this corner. So that means I'm going to draw this from here to here and from here to here. That is 10, 10. Automatically it's already there. This 10 is there already. If it's not there, we'll measure, but let's see. So let's look at it. Now, either I measured the 10 or it's automatically I projected it, this point here, because it's a true. This line is 10. Then this other line here is also another 10. So if you measure it, let's see if we actually got it right. So if you look at this, I'll easily see this is a 10 here, right? And if I come here also from 4 backward, so I'll be having that. So when the project is very well, that's what you have. So we'll be having this to be our 10. From here, you measure your 10. Then here also is already there, so I'm just drawing that. Now the next thing we'll do is that to this height, I'm going to measure it towards this height. So this height here is this. This is the height here. And I'll get the center of the height. So if I project this way, there's the center line. So, and I'm bringing this downward this way. So the center will be here. This is where I'll stay, and I'll draw my arc. I'll show you the arc I'm drawing. We'll just here, and if we trace this line to this point, this is where it is. So from here to this point, I can actually draw my arc, right? Actually draw it. So you just place it here, and you draw that out. So the arc I'm actually drawing is this. Let me show you. Is this, right? I got the center and I draw this arc. Then the next thing is I need to close this. Now here from here to here is 10. Here to here is 10. I need to close this up. So I'll close it up back. So let me close it up. So the thickness where I close it up is here, right? So if I trace it to that point, I'll just close it up from here to here. And I'll close it up too. So if you are able to draw your diagram very well, all those points will naturally come together. That is, if you know what you are actually doing. And this is coming up to this point. From here to here, that I just draw is from here to here. I just taking from here to here. Right? I've taken this. I've taken here, I have closed up here. So I've taken from here to here, then I'll connect here to the arc, and I'll connect the arc back to this point. So this is what I mean. So I'll connect here to the arc. This is the arc here. Let's connect here to the arc. Then connect the arc back to this point. Then I'll close it up this way. All good. So in doing that, we still have one to go, and that is this arc here. So there's a bigger arc here that is at that point. So I'm not going to see it. I'll just draw a straight line. So at the end, if you look at this at the top right corner, you see this. You see this, right? So it will just be the straight line and this straight line. So the height is the total height of the figure. So I'm looking at it, I'll see that, right? So I'm going to just measure from the ending, or measure 16, which is already there. So this is 16 here. So I'm going to take in it. So how will I do that? So this ending point here is here. Is here at this ending point. If you trace the line on the same line to the ending point is here. Oh good. If you want to trace here from here, if it comes to this point, discover that it is just here. So I'm going to measure taking from here to this point. So let's take it up and see. So from here, I'll complete it to touch the topmost here, and the other part here, which is 16. So on the topmost here also, from here. But at that point, what will I do? I will just use thick line from this point to this point. Then the rest will not be what? Hidden line. Even you cannot see this line here at the other aspect. So I'm going to put my hidden line there too from this point. Right? There's my hidden line there. And I'll close it up this way. Now the next thing that we're doing here is that there's a true, right? So I told you see an arc when you're looking at it perpendicularly, we're looking at it at this level. If you look at it from here, you'll be having this. So if I project this line to this point, you can see the line already. So it means I'll draw my hidden line here too to show that the true is here. Then here also the same thing too. From here, I put it to this point. Also the true to here to this hidden line. That is the circle that is going through. Are we good? So if you look at this figure, we have actually provide everything that we need. And this is the third angle projection of the figure that is displayed at the top right corner of your screen. Now you can put in your dimensioning. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.